Good morning, everybody. It's Sarah Estelle here. It's Friday, the 7th of January, and it's just a day to go before our Sacred Rising Become Your Own Creatrix for 2022 workshop. I'm excited to be leading a group of healers tomorrow through this process. And so as I'm preparing for it, I'm really kind of like getting clear on myself why people like me and you have such an aversion to planning. It's almost as if we hear the word planning and we just kind of like go deaf and walk the other way. So what I'd like to share with you is from my perspective of somebody who has sustained herself from her business since 2015, is that I too used to have an aversion to planning. And there's a part of me, to be honest, that still does. I'll be honest with you. However, I found some ways around it. So let's just talk about why we might not like planning. So first of all, we'll say to ourselves, it's highly boring. I agree with you. It can be if we do it the wrong way. It's also, we might say, well, I much prefer, as I'm a feminine healer, to allow things to be flexible and allow source to speak to me and not to be too tied up in how things should be or shouldn't be. We think somehow that if we plan, we set things in stone. And finally, one of the reasons why we might not like it, so it's boring, we don't like to set things in stone, at least we think that that's what we think we're doing. And also, it's like this, it's really part of the old earth. So if you share with me some of those kind of energies, let me know, because I'm with you on it. But what I want to share with you is that it's far too important for your year, your 2020, my 2020, our 2020 to be left to chance. It's really not the place where we want to be going to. It's part of the new earth to embrace things a different way. So maybe if you've planned before and if it hadn't worked, maybe it's because you were doing in an old earth way. So in a new earth way, and the way we'll be embracing it tomorrow is first of all to do it together, not alone. And in the day, we plan out the whole year in one day. Now, clearly there needs to be eyes on it after that, but you're going to get the download in whole in the day. And it's fun when you do it with others. It's fun when you have space for yourself, you create sacred space, you go into breakout rooms with others, you get inspired by others. When one person gets inspired, everybody gets inspired. There's the saying of rising tide lifts all boats. So if you're trying to do this all on your own, it could be one of the reasons why you kind of get turned off by it. So maybe a new earth way of doing it is that we do it together. The other thing that's really, really important that as healers, and you will totally get this, as healers, what we do is we bring the formless, so all of the energy, the crown chakra energy that's up here, all of those amazing things that you get downloads about, and you know that you're here, you're really, really excited about it. Now, so people like us, what tends to happen is it stays as a download. And we get, as it starts to come through the chakras, we start to doubt ourselves. We look at people outside of ourselves, and it kind of gets stuck at this level, and it doesn't come out of our mouths. It doesn't come out of our pens, and we don't give it the form that it deserves. So one of the things that planning does is that it brings the formless into form. So really let that land for yourself. When you plan, you bring the formless into form, and nothing is going to change in your business, in your life. Well, that's not strictly true. Maybe it'll change, but it'll take longer. And the earth, the universe, needs people like us right now, not in 5 years' time when we've swum the difficult way around things. So how about if you were to embrace this new earth and really just allow, whether you join me tomorrow or not, but to really get that you're bringing the formless into form, and you need to find a way to allow that through you. And when we do it in new ways, we get new results. So maybe that helps you to see why, as healers, we absolutely need to embrace embodiment, do things together. And just because we're putting it into a plan doesn't mean to say that we can't change it. Think of it as just drawing down your year in pencil, and then you go and change it, which is the feminine way. That's the flexibility, is that we kind of say, okay, so from this vantage point of where I am right now, this feels like the right thing. This looks like the right thing. In 90 days' time, it may have changed. But then we change it, but at least we know where we're going. And when we get up in the morning, we can say to ourselves, okay, so this is where I want to go, so therefore this is what I need to do, rather than just reacting, responding as we go through the day. The other thing is, when you do it in sacred space, everything changes. Because so often the reason why it doesn't work is because we're pushing from our masculine. When you do it in sacred space, you allow the feminine to guide you. You allow source to guide you. And when source guides you, it's up to us in bodies to then steer the ship, if you like. But the actual information is not, it's not our ego talking. It's not a part of us that can't do it. We're actually handing it over. We're surrendering it over to the goddess, God, source, whatever you call it. We're surrendering it over. And from that place, that's how things shift. Okay, so if you want to join us, there's still time. The link is connected to this video. I wish you a beautiful Friday and many, many happy shiftings of your planning mindset into a new earth one. Okay, blessings. Bye-bye.